Welcome back to Coin Cash King Information Channel, where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasure. Today you're going to discover 5 Australian coins that could shock you right out of your seat. Some of those coins, if sitting unnoticed in your collection or pocket change, could be worthy. That's not a type. And no, you don't need to be a millionaire to own one. You might already have it and not even know. We are about to uncover rare designs, mysterious mint errors, and stories that tie Australian history right into the palm of your hand. And trust me, every single coin we are about to explore hides a surprise that could leave you speechless. Now, before we jump into the first Australian 20 cent, 1966, take a moment to look at your change jar, your dresser drawer, even that old coffee can in the garage, because racing to check if your coin matches one of these rare, mind-blowing finds now. I am ready when you are. Go ahead and send me the first coin picture or details, and I will start crafting its story with all the drama, value, and excitement packed in. Now take a closer look at this coin. At first glance, it looks like any regular Australian coin. In today's video, it is going to be an exciting one, because we're going to explore a coin that has been creating a lot of buzz in the auction market. The Australian 20 cent coin from 1966 in very fine condition. This coin is not just a piece of currency, it is a part of history, it is a treasure for collectors, and it is one of those coins that continues to rise in demand as more people discover its story. If you're a coin enthusiast, a history lover, or someone simply curious about how everyday pocket change can turn into a valuable investment, you are going to love this video. So stay tuned until the very end, because we will also be discussing the current market value of this coin in dollars. And trust me, the numbers will surprise you. The 1966 Australian 20 cent coin holds a very special place in the nation's coinage history. This was the very first year Australia introduced decimal currency, moving away from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system that had been in use for decades. Decimalization marked a new era for the country, modernizing the monetary system and aligning it more closely with international standards. The 20 cent coin introduced in this year immediately became a vital denomination in everyday transactions. Designed by the famous artist Stuart Devlin, who later became known as the Royal Goldsmith, the 1966 20 cent coin was minted with great attention to detail and artistic elegance. It was struck in copper nickel, giving it durability as well as a sleek, silvery appearance. Over the years, the coin became a silent witness to Australia's cultural and economic changes, but the 1966 issue stands out because it represents the very beginning of the decimal currency era. For collectors, this isn't just a coin, it's the first chapter in a whole new system of money. The standout feature of the 1966 20 cent coin is, of course, its iconic design. On the reverse side, you will find the image of the platypus, one of Australia's most unique and beloved animals. The platypus was chosen as a symbol of Australia's rich wildlife heritage, and the artwork captures the movement of the animal swimming gracefully through the water, with flowing lines that make the design dynamic and alive. The obverse side features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was standard across Australian coins of that era. But what makes the 1966 issue extra special are the small details and minting variations that collectors always keep an eye out for. For example, coins minted at different facilities, including the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, the Melbourne Mint, and even the London Mint, sometimes show subtle differences. These slight variations have made the 1966 20 cent coin even more fascinating to study and collect. Beyond that, the sheer age of the coin, combined with the fact that it was the first of its kind, makes it a standout piece for any serious collector's portfolio. While millions of 20 cent coins were produced in 1966, finding one today in very fine condition is not as easy as it might sound. Remember, these coins entered circulation almost 60 years ago, and over that time, most have been worn down through daily use. Coins that survive in excellent condition, with strong details on the platypus design and a clear portrait of the queen, are much rarer. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins that not only tell a story, but also look stunning after decades of use. The demand for the 1966 20 cent coin in very fine condition is high, because such pieces bridge the gap between accessibility and rarity. They are affordable enough for collectors starting their journey, yet rare and valuable enough to excite seasoned numismatists. And because this was the very first year of decimal coinage, there is a built-in historical demand that ensures this coin will never lose its popularity. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the value. The Australian 20-cent coin from 1966 in very fine condition has been performing extremely well in auctions and collector sales. Depending on the mint mark and overall eye appeal, these coins are known to sell for anywhere between $516,000 and in some cases even higher when competition among bidders heats up. Collectors know that early decimal coins are gaining value with each passing year. And the 1966 20-cent coin has become one of the shining examples of this trend. This is not just a coin you tuck away in an album. This is a piece that can genuinely appreciate in value over time. Many collectors are holding onto these coins as a long-term investment, knowing that the demand will only grow as fewer high-grade examples remain available on the market. If you're considering adding a 1966 20-cent coin to your collection, here are a few things to keep in mind. First, always pay attention to the condition. Coins graded as very fine or better will always command higher prices and attract more interest at auctions. Second, do your research on the mint origin of the coin, because certain variations are more sought after than others. Third, keep your coin properly stored in protective holders to prevent further wear or damage, as condition preservation is key to maintaining value. Most importantly, stay engaged in the collector community. Join online forums, attend auctions, and follow market updates. The coin collecting world is full of passionate individuals who are always sharing knowledge. And being part of that community can help you discover rare opportunities and valuable insights. In conclusion, the Australian 20-cent coin from 1966 in very fine condition is more than just spare change from the past. It is a historical milestone, a beautifully designed piece of art, and a collector's gem that continues to grow in demand. With its rich history, iconic design, and increasing rarity, this coin is undeniably one of the highlights of Australian numismatics. For collectors, it offers not only the joy of owning a piece of history, but also the potential of significant financial value in today's auction market. So, if you happen to come across one of these coins in your collection or even in your change jar, take a closer look. You might just be holding a little piece of Australian history that's worth much more than you ever imagined, and like to subscribe to my channel. Queen number 2. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of Australian rare coins, and the spotlight is shining on one of the most talked about, most sought after, and increasingly valuable coins in the market today, the 1968 Australian 20-cent coin. Now, at first glance, some may think a simple 20-cent piece isn't much, but believe me, this is no ordinary coin. With its unique history, its age of more than half a century, and its rising demand among collectors, the 1968 Australian 20-cent coin is now considered a treasure in the numismatic world. By the end of this video, you will not only understand why this coin is so special, but also why collectors are rushing to secure it in today's auction markets for impressive dollar values. The 1968 Australian 20-cent coin has a fascinating background that makes it stand out from other decimal issues. Australia had only recently transitioned to decimal currency in 1966, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system with dollars and cents. The 20-cent coin became one of the most widely circulated denominations, and the 1968 issue holds a special place in history as it was part of the early years of decimal coinage. This was a time when Australia was shaping its modern identity through its currency, and coins like the 20 cent became symbolic markers of a new era. Designed by the famous artist Stuart Devlin, the coin features the iconic platypus on the reverse side, a unique and beloved Australian animal, making it both a cultural and historic piece. Over the decades, these coins have survived through countless hands, trades, and generations, but those that remain in fine condition today are far from common. What makes the 1968 Australia 20-cent coin so distinct? First and foremost, the design is truly timeless. The obverse side features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Arnold Machin, which collectors often treasure as one of the most classic portraits of the Queen. On the reverse, the platypus gliding through the water is not only a unique design, but also one of the most recognizable symbols in Australian coinage. Its strong, clean lines and flowing water patterns make it highly attractive for collectors. Additionally, the fact that it was minted over 55 years ago adds to its charm and collectability. For coins that have been kept in fine condition where details are still sharp and the coin shows minimal wear, these are increasingly being recognized as premium finds. Their metallic composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel gives them durability, but also that distinct shining appearance when preserved well. Now let's talk about rarity. Although millions of 20-cent coins were minted in 1968, the number of coins surviving in fine or higher conditions today is significantly lower. Everyday circulation has worn down most coins, leaving behind very few that collectors would consider highly desirable. This natural scarcity, combined with the historical significance of being an early decimal coin, is what makes the 1968 edition so appealing. The collector demand is also being driven by age. More than half a century has passed since its issue, and every passing year increases its rarity as coins are either lost, damaged, or taken permanently out of circulation. Collectors worldwide, not just in Australia, are placing higher bids for coins that maintain sharp details, clear lettering, and intact luster. The coin's place in Australia's early decimal era ensures that it will always remain in demand, with its market value climbing steadily. So, how much can this coin be worth in today's market? Here's where it gets exciting. A circulated but fine condition 1968 Australian 20-cent coin is now attracting strong attention in auctions. Coins in fine or better condition are now reaching between $522,000, depending on demand and preservation. Some exceptional specimens have even been known to go higher when collectors are competing in live auctions. Remember, we're talking about a 20-cent piece that has multiplied its value 100-fold or more simply because of its age, rarity, and condition. The positive trend is clear. Demand is growing, supply is shrinking, and values are only moving upward. For anyone interested in collecting, here is some advice. Always look closely at the condition of your 1968 20-cent coins. Check for sharpness in the Queen's portrait, clarity in the platypus design, and the overall shine of the surface. Coins stored safely away from moisture, dirt, and scratches are the ones that bring in the highest dollar values at auctions. Another tip is to always track market demand. Right now, rare Australian coins are enjoying global interest, meaning values can spike quickly. If you already own a 1968 Australia 20-cent coin in fine condition, hold on to it or consider showcasing it in the right auction platform to maximize its worth. For those looking to purchase, now is the time, because with every year that passes, coins in collectible grades will only become harder to find. In conclusion, the 1968 Australian 20-cent coin is far more than just loose change. It's a piece of history, a work of art, and a rising star in the world of numismatics. Its unique design, its place in the early decimal years, and its growing scarcity have made it a top choice for collectors seeking both historical significance and investment potential. In fine condition, this coin is commanding impressive values in today's market, and the trend is only upward. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your coin journey, the 1968 Australia 20-cent coin is one treasure you'll want to secure before it becomes even harder to find. So keep your eyes open, check your collections, and maybe Queen number 3. In today's video, we are diving into a very special coin that has been making headlines in the numismatic community, the Australian 20-cent coin from 1981, with a unique black dot on the reverse side. This coin, especially in fine condition, has created waves in the auction market because of its rarity and the extraordinary demand from collectors. So if you are holding one of these in your collection, or even if you just stumbled upon it in your change, then you might be sitting on something worth far more than its face value. Stay tuned, because we're going to uncover the history, the unique features, the rarity, the current market value, and even give you some useful tips for collectors who want to get the most out of this treasure. The Australian 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 when the country moved from the old pre-decimal currency system to the new decimal system. Designed by Stuart Devlin, these coins feature the famous platypus on the reverse side, which has become one of the most recognizable designs in Australian currency. The 20-cent coin has long been an important part of everyday transactions in Australia, but in 1981, something remarkable happened. Millions of coins were minted across different mints, including in Australia, Canada, and even Wales, to keep up with the high demand for circulating coins. With so many struck in different locations, slight variations and unusual features began to appear, which today have turned certain 1981 coins into highly collectible pieces. Among these, the coin with the mysterious black dot on the reverse side stands out as one of the rarest and most intriguing examples. Now let's talk about what makes this coin so special. At first glance, a 1981 Australian 20-cent coin might look like any other, but careful inspection reveals a small yet distinctive black dot on the reverse side. This dot is not a part of the normal design. Rather, it is the result of a minting anomaly or a striking irregularity, making it a true variety coin. Collectors around the world prize coins that showcase unique features like die cracks, extra dots, misstrikes, and other peculiarities that set them apart from standard issues. The presence of this black dot makes the 1981 20-cent coin not only a talking point, but also a standout collectible. And because this coin is already over 40 years old, the fact that it has survived in fine condition with this unique feature adds another layer of desirability. It is coins like these that spark excitement in the numismatic market, because every piece tells its own story. When it comes to coin collecting, rarity is the number one factor driving demand. The 1981 Australia 20-cent coin with the black dot is not something you can easily find in everyday circulation anymore. Most of these coins were used heavily in transactions, and many have since been lost, damaged, or worn beyond recognition. But coins with distinctive features like the backside black dot have always been scarce. The fact that one can still find this coin in fine condition is truly remarkable. Collectors understand that condition plays a major role in determining value. And even though fine condition is not the absolute highest grade, the combination of rarity and the unique black dot makes it highly desirable. The rarity is further emphasized by the growing community of collectors and investors who are now entering the numismatic market, all of whom are competing to own coins that stand out. This intense competition drives up the price and creates a sense of urgency in auctions, where bidders are willing to go above and beyond to secure a rare find like this. Now comes the part that everyone is waiting for, the current market value. The rare black dot variety in fine condition can command an impressive premium. In today's auction market, collectors are paying top dollars for these coins, with values ranging significantly higher than standard circulation pieces. Depending on the buyer and the demand at the time of the auction, this coin can sell for anywhere between $550,000 or even more. What's truly fascinating is that the value of such coins continues to rise steadily as more collectors discover them and fewer remain in good condition. This makes the 1981 black dot coin not just a collectible, but also a smart investment for those looking to build value over time. For collectors who want to either sell or add one of these to their collection, there are a few tips that can make all the difference. First, always keep the coin in a protective holder to avoid further wear and damage. Even fine condition coins can increase in value if preserved carefully. Second, have the coin examined by a reputable dealer or even graded by a professional service, as authentication will boost its value in the eyes of serious buyers. Third, keep an eye on auction markets and numismatic forums, because these coins are often discussed and traded within the collector community. And most importantly, never rush into selling too quickly. With demand rising year after year, the longer you hold on to a rare coin like this, the more valuable it can become in the future. So there you have it, the story of the Australian 20-cent coin from 1981 with the rare backside black dot, a coin that has become a highly sought-after gem in the numismatic world. From its fascinating history to its unique features, from its rarity to its current strong market value, everything about this coin makes it a collector's dream. If you happen to own one, you're holding a piece of Australian history and a treasure that has real financial worth in today's market. And if you don't have one yet, keep your eyes open, because coins like these are still out there waiting to be discovered. The demand is only growing stronger, and the excitement around this coin is proof that numismatics is not just about history, it's also about opportunity. Queen number 4. In Today, we have something truly fascinating to discuss, a coin that might look ordinary to some, but for collectors, it carries both history and hidden value. We're talking about the Australian 20-cent coin from the year 1981, a piece that has become a treasure in the world of numismatics, especially in very fine condition. This coin is not just a simple piece of metal, it's a collector's dream. And in today's auction market, it is in high demand with strong dollar value attached to it. So sit back, relax, and let us explore why this coin is so special and why collectors around the world are chasing after it. The 20-cent coin was first introduced in Australia in 1966 as part of the country's decimal currency system. It replaced the old shilling and quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. By 1981, the Royal Australian Mint was producing millions of these coins to keep up with the growing demand in the economy. What makes the 1981 issue particularly interesting is the period in which it was minted. During the early 1980s, Australia was experiencing major changes in its coinage production, with both local and overseas mints involved in striking coins for circulation. This means that while millions were minted, certain varieties and conditions became especially desirable for collectors over time. Today, these coins carry not just their face value, but also the story of Australia's evolving currency history. The 1981 Australia 20-cent coin carries the classic design that has made it iconic. On the obverse, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, one of the most respected engravers of his time. The reverse features the famous platypus, created by Stuart Devlin, Australia's goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. The platypus design has always been admired for its dynamic sense of movement, showing the animal swimming through rippling water. The combination of elegance and Australian identity makes this coin a standout. For the 1981 issue, collectors particularly value coins that remain in very fine condition because they preserve the sharpness of Devlin's artistry and Machin's detailed portrait of the Queen. It's this unique artistry and national symbolism that gives the coin a strong place in any collection. While millions of 20-cent coins were struck in 1981, not all of them have survived the decades in collectible condition. The vast majority have been used in daily transactions, leaving them heavily worn or damaged. Finding one in very fine condition is where the rarity factor comes into play. A coin that has aged gracefully with minimal wear, sharp features, and clear inscriptions immediately becomes desirable. Collectors worldwide are always searching for well-preserved examples because they tell a better story and add greater value to their collection. Auction houses and online marketplaces report high demand whenever coins from this era appear, especially when they are graded above average. So the rarity here is not just about mintage numbers, it is about condition, preservation, and demand in the numismatic community. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the value. In today's auction market, the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is attracting attention from collectors both in Australia and abroad. Depending on the specific grading, with premium examples reaching into much higher territory when competition among bidders heats up. The market shows consistent strength for this coin, and the demand only continues to rise as collectors aim to secure the best preserved examples. This makes the 1981 20-cent coin not only a piece of history, but also a smart collectible investment with solid value in today's market. For those of you looking to collect or invest in this coin, there are a few important tips. Always look for coins in the best condition possible. A 1981 Australia 20-cent coin in very fine or higher condition will always command stronger prices. Pay attention to details like the sharpness of the platypus design, the clarity of the Queen's portrait, and the preservation of the edges. Storing the coin properly is also crucial. Use coin holders or albums that prevent scratching and environmental damage. Another tip is to keep an eye on auction platforms and coin shows, as these are the places where high-quality specimens are often found. Networking with other collectors and staying informed about market trends can also help you make the most of your collecting journey. Remember, coins like the 1981 Australia 20-cent piece are not just valuable in terms of money, they're valuable in terms of history, art, and national pride. So there you have it, the story of the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition. From its fascinating history to its unique design, from its rarity in the collector's market to its growing auction value, this coin proves that even everyday change can hold incredible worth. It stands as a shining example of how a small piece of metal can reflect culture, history, and investment potential. If you happen to come across this coin in your collection or spare change, don't overlook it, because what seems ordinary to many is actually extraordinary to those who know its true value. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these gems, and the demand continues to rise. This is your chance to be part of that exciting world, where history and value meet in the palm of your hand. Queen number 5. In today, we are diving into the fascinating world of Australian coins. And the spotlight is on one of the most underrated yet highly valuable treasures, the Australian 20-cent coin from 1998 in very fine condition. At first glance, this might just look like a normal piece of change, but believe me, the story, history, rarity, and current auction market value of this coin will absolutely amaze you. Collectors worldwide are racing to secure rare pieces like this. And if you have one in your pocket or coin jar, you might be sitting on a small fortune. So let's unfold the full story behind this incredible coin and why it's in such high demand today. The Australian 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, coinciding with the nation's transition to decimal currency. Since then, it has become a staple in the everyday lives of Australians, featuring one of the country's most beloved designs, the platypus swimming gracefully through rippling water. But when we look at the 1998 issue, things get very interesting. The Royal Australian Mint produced this coin during a time when mintages were relatively limited compared to other years, which automatically placed it in a more favorable position for collectors. Over the years, many of these coins entered circulation and went through decades of use, making examples in very fine condition harder and harder to come by. That's why when you've come across a 1998 20-cent coin that has survived with great detail intact, it holds incredible historical and collector value. One of the most striking aspects of the 1998 Australian 20-cent coin is its elegant design. On the obverse side, we see the classic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by sculptor Raphael Maklouf, a design that itself is iconic in the history of Commonwealth coinage. On the reverse side, the platypus design by Stuart Devlin captures not only Australia's rich wildlife, but also the artistry that has made these coins world famous among collectors. The 1998 edition has a sharpness and clarity that stands out when preserved in very fine condition. The detailing of the platypus and the water ripples becomes a major point of attraction for serious collectors who appreciate both the history and craftsmanship behind the coin. Now let's talk about rarity, the key factor that drives demand and value in numismatics. While millions of 20-cent coins were minted across various years, the 1998 mintage is considerably scarcer than some others, which gives it an edge. And here's the important part. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, meaning they show wear, scratches, and dullness. That's why finding one in very fine condition is a challenge and adds to its desirability. Collectors are constantly seeking examples that retain most of their original shine, design clarity, and minimal wear, making the 1998 coin in such condition a hot commodity. This demand is further fueled by auction houses and online coin trading platforms. Now to the most exciting part. The current market value of the 1998 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition. Collectors have been willing to pay significant amounts to secure this coin, with values ranging from several dollars to much higher figures, depending on condition, luster, and provenance. In today's auction market of very fine condition, 1998 Australian 20-cent coin can easily fetch anywhere between $500,000 and $60,000, and sometimes even more, if the coin displays exceptional detail and eye appeal. That is an astonishing leap from its original value, and it goes to show how the numismatic world places such strong emphasis on rarity and preservation. What was once loose change can now turn into a collector's prize. For anyone interested in either starting a collection or adding to their existing one, here's some valuable advice. Always pay close attention to condition, as even a single grade higher can drastically change the value of a coin. When it comes to the 1998 20-cent coin, very fine condition is already highly desirable. But if you manage to find examples in extra fine, or even uncirculated condition, you're looking at a true treasure. Always store your coins properly. Avoid touching the surfaces. Use coin holders and keep them away from moisture or contaminants. Also, consider following reputable auction houses, coin fairs, and online numismatic forums to keep an eye on rising trends and current values. These coins are in growing demand, and being informed will give you an edge in buying, selling, or holding onto them as an investment. So, there you have it. The 1998 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is far more than just a small piece of currency. It's a slice of history, a beautifully crafted piece of art, and a highly demanded collector's item that continues to rise in value. With its limited availability, unique design, and increasing desirability in auctions, This coin has cemented its place among Australia's most collectible pieces. If you happen to have one tucked away in your coin collection, it might be time to take a closer look. Because what seems like ordinary change could actually be a hidden gem worth many times its original value. Keep your eyes open, because treasures like this don't just belong in museums. Sometimes they're right in your hands, and like to comment to subscribe my channel,